Hi, I'm Marilyn Nagel. I'm the CEO of Ready Aim Aspire, and I'm a co-founder of Rise Equity and a partner in Boardwise. I think it's an important thing that boards take a look at company culture. And it's one of the things that boards never used to focus on. We used to think that it wasn't part of our domain in terms of governance. But right now, and actually over the past year in particular, we found that it's really important for boards to understand what is the company culture and can that culture impact both profitability and risk. And I say that because there have been many instances and situations where there are issues that make the culture toxic. There are situations where employees are raising concerns. All of these things are going to be risk factors that the board is going to want to take a look at. And so now boards are recognizing that culture is actually one of the factors that they do need to take into consideration. Social media is playing a new role in the way companies are perceived. And we've seen this on both the positive and a negative side. Consumers are, and this is true in a B2B space or a B2C space, but consumers are looking at what is the culture and what is the tenor of the company. And so they're looking at reviews, they're looking at what are people posting. And so what we've seen in some situations is a senior level executive may be putting information out on social media about their political views or about their views about issues in societal challenge. Those are then going to reflect on the company because people see that this senior executive is speaking out in a certain way and the public is going to respond. So this is often spoken about when it's negative, but it can also be very positive when senior leaders are supportive of philanthropic events after a catastrophe, or when they support their employees doing days of service or going out of their way, again, after some significant event happens. But we've also seen it happen in the more frequently, as I mentioned, on the negative side. So a senior executive feels it's appropriate to express their views and maybe lambast people on social media. And then people look up, where does that person work? People have been terminated from their positions. But if that's a senior leader, it's going to reflect on your brand. And so it can reflect on the brand. If it's a senior leader, it can reflect on the brand. If it's a marketing campaign that goes off the rails, and more, the board needs to understand what are the parameters of behaviors that separate us. We don't have work separate from social interaction and social life on social media. And so we need to be thoughtful about what is your presence on social media if you are also representing the company. And that also goes for the members of the board and the board chair in particular, because people will look up and follow what they're saying on social media, and that will reflect back on the brand. It's critical that boards are proactive around this. I've spoken to many board members and at conferences for board members about the need to be proactive around the whole issue of culture, around the behavior of the senior executive team and of themselves as board members, because they are representing the company, not only to shareholders, but to consumers. And again, this goes for B2B companies and B2C companies. People are much more aware and are going to do their research, and they're going to say, do I want to buy from a company that is socially conscious or a company that has some toxic behaviors? And they're making the decision with their money. And we see this over and over again and in larger and larger numbers. So it is the board's fiduciary responsibility to ensure the health of the organization. And this is impacting the health of the organization. I think it's incumbent on boards to ask the company to do a cultural audit, to do an engagement survey, or which will provide information to find out how things are going. Those should be done on an annual basis, and they should take a look at the survey results at an aggregate level, should be presented to the board, just to make sure there are no hotspots and no glaring issues. The other thing is the board should take a look at how the company is being talked about on social media. Look at tools like Glassdoor, look at other social media tools, and check out how the public is viewing your company that you're serving on the board of, because it is going to be a reflection on you, and you are going to be a reflection of the company. And so I think board members can no longer think, well, that's not our job, we don't get involved in that. I think you absolutely have to take a look. And again, it's part of your responsibility. It's a risk factor, and it's a responsibility of the board to know that they are supporting the company in the best way possible for good governance. I should mention one last piece, and that is that especially for companies that are global or companies that are not US based, it is really important for us to look at the nuances in each local country and address the local governance issues. And I think that these culture surveys help us address those issues, not just at the aggregate level, but also locally, country by country. And I think that's another piece I wanted to emphasize. It's my life's work, and I absolutely want to help companies do a great job in this space and certainly see them thrive.